some idiotic conditioning, booty bag work, some secret techniques. 1, 2, 3, Muhammad Ali. What the f is that, guys? If I saw such BS happening in my gym, I would start searching for another one as soon as possible. And what I showed you in the beginning is only a small part of what we're gonna discuss in this video about red flags in a boxing gym. You better watch this video to the end to find out if your gym is good and you can trust it with your money, time and health. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Andriy Khotin and I'm a former amateur boxer and active coach from Ukraine. On this channel, we help boxers level up their game with Eastern European methods. Recently, I moved to another town and I had to find a new boxing gym for myself. And I had 5 main criteria that I was rating it based on. And in each criteria, I have many different pointers. So, let's get straight into them. And the first main criteria is community in your boxing gym. And the first red flag is a lot of dumb guys in your gym, because when you walk in and you start communicating with different dudes and they start like shaking your hand and saying hi to you over and over again, that's a clear sign of CTE. And that's not a good sign, because probably this gym has a lot of hard sparring and you definitely don't want to become dumb because of regular impact to your head. The second red flag is when everyone in the gym is injured. Well, I don't mean everyone literally, but when a lot of guys have different injuries. The most common ones are the knuckles, wrists, elbows, shoulders, lower back, ankles and other stuff. That's definitely a clear sign that coaching isn't the best, and often trainers show wrong techniques that lead to different injuries. That's why you should be careful when you're picking coach and your gym, so you have to double check to make sure that your instructor shows the right technique. The third red flag is when a lot of guys are interested in different criminal activities. That's definitely not good and you shouldn't be connected with those people, because it will not end well. I know a lot of guys who were very good guys, but then they chose the wrong path and they end up in jail, on war, or they even not with us anymore. You can spot guys like that by their appearance, their language, often their tattoos, the way they talk between each other in the locker room, and sometimes even by their social media. And our fourth red flag is atmosphere, or it's better to say the absence of atmosphere. There is no jokes, no friendship, no respect, and no that word vibe in the locker room, and no connection between the members of the gym. It's always better when you bond with the guys in the gym, you are all on the same page, and over time you become this small family. And now we have our second main criteria, which is the environment. And the first red flag in this criteria is dirty gym with bad hygiene. For example, if your gym is very dusty, you will definitely inhale all that stuff and it will stay in your lungs, and that is very bad long term because you can't remove that. The second red flag here is when your gym has no ventilation, and I can tell that from my own experience, because the air gets very stinky first of all, then it gets very heavy and you can't breathe and recover quickly, then the floor gets very slippery and everyone starts falling and breaking their ankles. And the worst part is that if someone comes sick and, for example, that person doesn't even know that they're sick, the next training it's like -5 guys with cold, because everyone inhaled that shit and there was no ventilation and now everyone is missing. The third red flag here is when your gym has very bad light. I'm from Ukraine and we often have electricity cutoffs because Russian launch missiles at us, and when you train with limited light you can't really see punches coming at you, and that's why you can dodge them. So for this reason it is very risky to spar in this condition, because you will get hit a lot and that will lead to brain damage, and that's not what you want. The next category is coaches, and the first red flag is when your coach is low skill. Imagine a guy who never fought, who never coached anyone before, and now he tries to train you and he will not teach you anything good, and that's very easy to spot, because this coach will be very unconfident in what he says, he will get confused all the time, and if you ask him a question he will never answer this and he will try to go away from it. The second red flag here is when your coach is high skill but he's very ignorant to most of the guys and he only favors 2 or 3 guys who are competitive and who he likes the most. Or they might not even be competitive guys, they may just bring in him some cash, that's why he likes them most. I believe coaches should be respectful and treat everyone in the same way. So if you don't get enough attention from your coach, you should go and ask him directly for feedback. And if he is ignorant even then, you should probably change your gym. And the first main criteria is training program. And the first red flag here is uncontrolled hard sparring every day of the week. I believe that hard sparring is useful and should be a part of most training programs, but it should be controlled, supervised and limited. And if it's not all those things and it's every day of the week, it is very bad because it will lead to the chronic traumatic encephalopathy, aka the brain damage, and you will be like this. The next red flag in your training program when it's focused purely on fitness. So you do all that dancing, all that jumping, punching air, different fun exercises, but you don't have sparring, you don't have real pad work, you don't have like intense bag work, you don't have conditioning and all that good stuff. So if you want to do boxing just to stay in shape and have fun, then it's maybe for you. But if you want to actually learn to fight as a man, then you definitely have to find something better for you. The next red flag here is when your training program has no diversity in it. So you basically go to the gym and repeat the same workout over and over again. Don't get me wrong here, there are techniques that you should practice countless amount of time to get them perfectly right. But when you do the same exact set of techniques every time, that is no good because you will not be able to incorporate some other techniques when it comes to fighting. Also a training program Also, a training program should include progressive overload. That is when your every next training session is a little bit more difficult than the previous one. This way you can gradually progress over a long period of times. And if you need to find some new training materials, then I definitely recommend you check out the KO Boxing Package, which is a training program that helps boxers to level up their game. It has a lot of workouts and useful materials that you can work with additionally outside of your class. Also, if you want to train completely solo, then it's perfect for you. And if you're a coach, you will definitely love the KO Boxing Package and the new methods that it offers. First link in the description. The fourth red flag in this category is when your training class is completely disorganized. So imagine this picture. You come to the gym and coach tells you, alright guys, just warm up. He doesn't give you any exercises, so you do whatever you want. Then he says, alright guys, now do 5 rounds of shadow boxing. He doesn't give you any drills, any like tips, and you just shadow box however you like. So you will learn a lot of mistakes. Then he will tell you, now guys, let's do 3 rounds of hard sparring. Okay, you did 3 rounds of hard sparring, then he tells you, okay, now do 3 rounds with back work. Free work, so do whatever you like. And then in the end he says, okay, now do some conditioning and go home. And that's very bad because this way you don't even need a coach, and when the class is completely disorganized, there is no point in going there. The last red flag in the training program is using idiotic methods to coach the trainees. And it includes chin conditioning, for example, when you just stay and your coach comes to you and hits your head. That is awful, that is not should be allowed, and that is completely stupid because it will only give you brain damage and it will not condition you at all. Then, for example, punching a wall. I know that in some martial arts it's a good idea, but for example in boxing you're a complete beginner and on your first session coach tells you to hit a wall. Then you will just break your hands. Then, for example, some neck strangling, when you just get on the bar and hang on your neck. Okay, that may strengthen your neck, but it's very risky and dangerous. So if your gym does some stupid like this, please make sure to leave this gym immediately. And the fifth category is results. And the first red flag here is when you don't get visible progress over a long period of time. For example, you put in the work, you try hard, but you don't see any results at all. Okay, that may happen to you because we are all different and we are all at different stages. But for example, other guys who train for years also stay at the same time and hit that plateau. That is a very bad sign, and if you don't get any results, then you should definitely change something. And the second red flag in this category is when you have no success stories in your gym. And I don't mean like producing world champions on the regular basis, for example like Alexander Usyk, but I'm talking about some regular guys who have done well in competition, in training, and overall that the gym has good testimonials and everyone is happy. But if your gym is active for a long time and there is no one who achieved even the smallest success, then it's not a good gym for you. Speaking of Usyk, who I mentioned a moment ago, I partnered with his clothing and equipment brand for boxers, Ready to Fight. You can get some good fightwear on their web store, second link in the description. Use code HOTIN10 to support me as a creator and get 10% off. The last red flag is when your coach makes unrealistic promises just to make you keep bringing him cash. So there are money-driven guys who will tell you all those sweet dreams just to sell you their services, and they will not do it very exaggerated. So they will not tell something like, okay, you will become the next world champion in 2 weeks. They will be way more smarter about that, and they will be way more subtle. So at first they will try to understand your goals, and then they will just multiply it and guarantee it. But no one can guarantee you anything in this game. So be careful with those guys who just want to make a cash cow out of you. These were red flags that you should watch out for in a boxing gym. One of them was a lot of fighters who have brain damage. So you better check out this video where I explain how to train boxing without getting CTE. Thanks for watching and stay sharp.